Hey guys, it's IJ. Welcome to episode 28 of the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. We have our interview that we did many months ago with Ahava Radio featuring Ariel Katz, their host. And in this episode, we have Avery, Misty, and myself going a little old school. We hope you enjoy it. We talk fun dates, serious dates, funny conversations, a little bit inside details, what goes on behind the scenes and everything like that. So we hope you enjoy. It's going to be a fun episode. And here you are, episode 28 of the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast.
We have in our studios, we have IJ, we have Avery, and Misty. Let's see, we're going to talk some major topics regarding Shidduchim. This is going to get heated. It might go funny, it might not. Let's see what's going to happen. Listen to our shows. Ahava, 90.3 FM, Thursday, 6 to 8 o'clock. So guys, we have an amazing show for you this week. We are actually live in our studios, Manhattan Beach. Ahava, we got IJ, we have Avery, we have Misty. Guys, take it away. Let's talk about this. Let's start this conversation.
Yeah. So let's discuss a little bit why we did the podcast, just to give an intro to the people who haven't heard it yet. We just wanted to kind of give a background of what the podcast is all about. And it's really just about cutting the red tape of Shidduchim. There's a lot of people out there who don't understand what, the Shidduch process is. And they either go through it and they're just miserable about how terrible it's going for them, or they just feel like, I'm not getting the right shidduch, or I just need something to laugh about because I'm having a hard time. And we kind of just want to resonate with them. There's never been a shidduch podcast out there. Somebody tried copying us. It didn't go well. And, we're just happy to be here and, present that opportunity for everybody. So, yeah.
I think it's also like making a community for singles and everybody in the shidduch process and the dating process, that we can all like come together and just be one big group supporting each other.
So guys, let's get into our first topic.
How to find where to find to get a shadchan, right? Mm-hmm. So one kind of giveaway we were giving to some of the listeners was, don't be afraid to just email 5 people a day in your contact list and say, hey, do you know any good shadchanim I could work with? And people are like, oh, hey, that's actually a pretty good idea. And I think a few days later I got a message from someone saying, oh, hi, I'm just going through my, contacts. Do you know any good shadchan? I'm like, where'd you get this from? He's like, oh, this podcast. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know who you are.
In all seriousness, guys, building a resume, where do you draw a line, like in certain cases?
Here's what you do. You don't want to tell too much. You don't want to give your life story here. You don't want to go through like, you had this great teacher first grade. You had this Rebbe who smacked you as a child, and that's why, you got issues. You don't want to do that.
Not.
That's all give too much.
Resume.
That is overkill. Don't
but you
want
to be real, though, as possible as you can.
Of course. So guys want to see truth, but don't do too much. You do too much, you're going to be looked at and laughed at.
But is there like a social science fragment to building like a shidduch resume, speaking with the individual, getting like a kind of psych eval in a sense, like regarding what that person does from A to Z?
There are like keywords you have to put on and you have to stay away from. Trigger words, which we are going to be another episode.
Something we talked about that was kind of funny. We discussed like, some girls try and hide that they're more educated, especially in this world. They're like, okay, I am going to law school. They're just going to say, okay, we're a legal professional, or I'm a legal professional, or I'm a medical professional. They don't want to say that they're going to medical school or law school, because the frum community will not look at that well.
Right. We had a lot of people reach out to us, on social media saying, oh my God, that happens to me all the time. Like, I'm a professional woman. I'm working very successful in my job. And, I have to hide those things. And we're like, no. Like we hear you. Like it really bites. It really bites, because it's so good to have that. Like, let's be successful as we can professionally.
Right.
And then, of course, we were talking a little bit about career-wise, where things are kind of changing, right? the Jewish community is really getting out of the professions in many ways and going into more of this, like maybe media, podcasting, other things, right? Instagram. Yeah. I mean, how many Instagram people do we know making money on that? So there are other ways. So it's very tough to kind of break down those barriers of new things coming in.
But this is the guy's perspective. So maybe Misty could shed a little bit of light on what she thinks of guys' resumes, particularly.
Oh, that's a good question. No, as I say, it was for that. Like, you have to be real about it, but don't write too much that it could be overwhelming for the person reading it. Mm-hmm. But guys also tend to like sometimes twist the truth on resumes, if we're being real here. With like height and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's called Inflategate. They inflate that's what we call that.
Yeah, so I'm saying I get it, but I mean, girls, I guess we also do that with certain things, but like,
Right.
my thing is just like be authentic as you can, but like be smart about it. Because not everybody wants to read like a whole thing on your life, like you were saying, Avery. So, yeah.
So, guys, going on from this topic, what the Jewish community right now, Hasidish versus modern versus every single aspect, what is the climate?
In Shidduchim?
Yes.
I think people are upset. People are unhappy with the Shidduch process, you know?
Yeah.
Do you believe that social media has
really
a major
do.
presence like in the climate?
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
Definitely.
You know, I'm sure everyone remembers probably between 5 and 8 years ago, every shadchan would tell you, oh my God, do not have a Facebook. Take it down. Take it down. And then the Facebook kind of, you know, went away a little bit.
Right.
And then a few years ago, now it's the Instagram. Oh my God, you have an Instagram? It's terrible. Thinking about like maybe what our parents went through. Oh my God, you have a name in the yellow pages? Take that out over there. Like you can't have that in there. So there's people, you know, do want to research and find you and go to things. So that was a big part of it.
In a different light, I would kind of say that I think Simcha Spot and Only Simchas and these sites are great to get the information out there, but I think people are very upset with seeing that. Like a single person goes on in their Instagram and they're like, you know, oh, everybody looks so engaged and so happy, and then that's like, that's not happening for me. You know, like where can I get that value? Where can I get that, you know, that presence?
No, like I might be single, but the thing is, like, I still get angry because I wasn't hired for that wedding. So I'm just like, you know what? Should have hired me. So as you were saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you can use social media definitely as a good thing because, like, you definitely find a lot about somebody just, you know, Googling them or Instagramming them and finding things maybe you wouldn't have found otherwise. So.
I just want to apologize to the listeners. We're having some interference a little with the sound over here. I'm sorry, guys. So going on to the next topic, because I want to keep this going. It's so exciting. IJ, you want to take it away?
Let's fast forward and you're on the date now. You know, you're planning the date. You got the yes from the girl. How do you take it from there?
First, you compare pictures.
Ooh.
Does the picture match up with what I'm not going out with? Is this a DOA? Like the first, does she come down the steps and her parents are like, okay, take her away. I don't want to be, you know, this is yours for the night. Rent her, take her back. Because that's happened to some of us before.
Seriously.
I think we've gone to a DOA
I want to hear
situation.
the stories. Can you guys tell me the stories?
Well,
Like all names not disclosed.
Names not disclosed, areas and, you know, areas and places where they live is not going to be disclosed.
We've obviously both been fahired on dates.
I had a situation where a parent, wacky parent, comes to me is like, okay, come here. You see this little box of cookies? You know, we're about to go out on the date. I walk into the door, pick her up. Take a cookie with you. Take the whole biscuit tray. And the mother and the father were fighting right in front of me. Like, don't give him the cookies. Take the cookies. And I'm like standing there. I'm like,
was it a Hungarian household? Because I know they're very serious regarding the cookies and everything.
Ashkenaz as it gets. Ashkenaz, Hungarian.
I see it with Europeans.
But it was one of those old Jewish couples be like, you got to take the cookies. Like, you can't take the cookies.
It was a disaster.
The old Seinfeld.
And the girl was like crying. I'm like, okay, whoa. I'm like, I didn't even go out with her yet, and she's crying. I couldn't believe it.
So, Vesepis, what happened? I want to hear because I'm really, really intrigued.
We went out.
Got engaged.
I got it. Yeah, that's why. And then the Shidduch podcast ended.
Right. Exactly.
No, I went out with her, and she mentioned something about her parents and a divorce, and I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm like, put that together. Lo and behold, she said no to me, and I was so happy. That's one of those, like, it's a good no. You know, you got rejected, but you felt great after that. You're like,
yes,
it never would have worked anyway. Awesome. Like, you know, I passed.
I just have a question, just from my stories for, like, what I've lived through. As I was doing renovations in my house, I always saw these Shidduch dates at HomeDepot. Is that is it? Yes, Home Depot.
I've never
Shidduch
heard of
hotspot.
that.
Interesting.
Tell me about that. Like, have you ever like Lowe's, Home Depot? Because I don't understand what's on the...
Wait, what do they do there? I never.
No, I don't understand. They just walk around. They just walk around the aisles. I see like it's mostly with ultra orthodox couples.
That is very interesting.
What would you think if a guy took you to Home Depot, Misty?
I don't know what that's telling me. Yeah, I don't know. That might be.
He's walking you down the aisle.
That's weird. No, I'm sorry. I don't. I've never heard
We
of
can
that
build
before.
this relationship, you know?
Right? Build a home together in Home Depot.
Yeah.
Got it.
Or he's a tool. No pun intended. All right, I'm sorry.
Nice.
That is a good pun intended.
All right, that's
It's all about kind of getting ideas of what to actually do on a date. You know, it's not just the first date or the second date, but after that, you know, fifth or sixth date, people start saying, "Oh my God, now, well, what do I have to do?" Because there's a lot of pressure on the guy to plan and execute and make sure that they're having such good times. And people don't realize that a lot of that really is the job. Some of it, and some people hold that the shadchan should be giving over ideas. So a lot of shadchanim will or say, "Oh, I'll just go to Home Depot." You know, they don't know about archery or axe throwing or
that's so
a
random.
lot of other fun things. But I think they're catching up to it now.
So tell me, right now for the Shidduchim, right now, like to have a Shidduch date, where do people mostly go?
Starbucks.
No,
Starbucks is the most popular
Starbucks
date.
or a hotel lounge.
Yeah.
those are the
Like a
those are the
lobby.
two popular.
Yeah.
Starbucks,
Seriously.
hotel lounge. They're cheap. You take her out the first date. Like I've said this before, but if you don't know a girl, at least in my opinion, why am I taking her somewhere that it's really expensive and I'm investing a lot of money and possibly time? Because waiter service, who knows how long it's going to take? Could be like, reserve cut or one of these, fancy Barnea where it's going to take a long time to get in there, get out, parking garage. So be smart. Go to a lounge. Go to a nice lounge. There's a bunch of them. We just discussed with the Brooklyn Food Snob dozens of places of where you can go. And you could just have a casual conversation similar to like what we're doing now about like, just general life. Nothing. You're not investing anything crazy into it, but obviously that's, the guy's perspective. I don't know what, girls.
A lot of the girls.
I don't know. So we discussed that kind of before Miss D came on.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And a little bit with Brooklyn Food Snob also, where a lot of girls, they don't want to, which Avery and I think just learned, like they necessarily don't want to just like go and sit on a first date or eat and eat and like spend that money and do those things. Like they just want to like meet very casually, feel like it's a 50-50 equal, partnership in the beginning. This is what I'm bringing. This is what you're bringing, and kind of take it from there. Miss D?
Not everybody. I disagree. I think that some girls want to be taken out and go out to a restaurant. I think it depends like what circle you're in. I think more of the yeshivish circles and stuff do go to lobbies. They go to like and get some.
What would you
water,
prefer?
soda.
So you're going on a first date.
Right.
You know the guy.
Right.
He's a spender. He's
me
got
out.
cash. He's doing well.
Right. Then take me out,
Eventually he'll
like-
be able to afford 10 kids in their tuition. Where would you want to take you?
So like a nice place, like a restaurant and stuff. Like I know you could afford it.
Are we talking Dumbo, West Side, Glad a la carte? What are we talking?
Middle of Flatbush.
Maybe out of Brooklyn also would be nice.
Just like a casual flight to Paris.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
That's
mostly anyone not in Brooklyn is going to be traveling to Brooklyn, and then people
Right.
in Brooklyn will be
Right.
traveling either to the outskirts of Brooklyn or they'll just go to Manhattan, and or the Five Towns. That's kind of where
it
the
depends where
main
you
spots
live.
are.
I think it depends where you live. Like you don't want to date, in your own like
neighborhood.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because that could be very awkward.
Someone once told me, don't go 30 minutes farther than where she lives
Seriously.
Yes.
on any date.
That's great advice.
I'm like,
really
because
smart.
if you need to get back, you're 30 minutes away. Don't worry. Like, you'll beat traffic.
Exactly. You don't
You'll
need to
put
sit in
your
the car with
caution
her for
lights
too
on.
long in case it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It's like the Bachelorette. In case he doesn't get the rose, they always send him back in multiple cars. They split up the routine. Like,
Yeah.
Is it too much at times for you guys? Like regarding
Well,
listening to their
that's-
stories, So he
Yeah.
went to the bathroom next. He came back. He used too much toilet paper. Like the next stories.
It's nice.
Thankfully, if it doesn't work out, it makes good content for the
Yeah.
podcast. So that's like the one benefit this thing has been.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it you can look back and just crack up at all these times that either you went through it or your friends or like all these people like reach out to you and tell you. I think it's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Miss D had a friend that was drunk on a date, right? Wasn't that a story?
Oh no, she got into a car with a guy, got drunk, and like he almost made it almost got into an accident while she was in the car, and then he slammed the door on her foot, and it was like very bad. They did not go out again, but he wanted to. I don't understand. Yeah, it was very weird.
It's like
I'll just never understand why she wouldn't give him another chance. But yeah, there's so many to make and breaks, and one thing we constantly discuss is, sometimes the person you meet, it really is a lot about the dynamic, because maybe shutting the door on someone's foot or getting a little too tipsy, people might not care because it's all about the dynamic. And if there is that chemistry and if you could connect with that
But
person.
some love stories start like that.
A lot of this goes out the window. And we try to make our the listeners understand that our, people in Shidduchim, like all of this goes out of the window once you find that person.
Right.
I've set someone up in the past and they were telling me I don't want someone, vaping or smoking. And guess what? They ended up with a vapor. So it happens. And there's
opposites do attract. That's according to the science. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
maybe you'll marry a Muslim. Oh, yeah.
Oh wow! Okay, fine. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Nah, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people from other cultures who do reach out to us, who ask for that, right? We have a lot of people who can relate to the fact that
not from the non-from community.
Because, remember, primarily Shidduchim is about getting set up by a matchmaker. And we have other people from other cultures who reach out to us on social media like, oh my God, this is like just what's going on in my community. So it's interesting to compare the.
Just to tell everybody what's going on, we got No One Talks Shidduchim on Ahava. It's going amazing. We're making some very interesting jokes.
Oh, yeah. My therapist said, just say your mind.
Okay.
No, joking.
My Rebbe said, make a Kiddush Hashem.
Yes.
Wow. See how we don't always necessarily agree or disagree, which is the best point, part of it, because I had 5 people reach out today about recent topic we did something about. And I could check Instagram, but they were giving us a whole spiel of, well, I don't think you should have said this. I don't think you should have said that. And I'm like, oh, totally get you. Like, I actually like your point and I agree with your point, but just note that like there are 2 sides to it. And I think when we had Misty come on representing the female voice, we drove over to our studio to record. We have a real recording studio, everyone out there, and we don't do it in our basement.
Do you want to disclose the location?
It's in Brooklyn somewhere.
It's the back cave.
In a bunker. In an underground bunker.
In an underground bunker somewhere, right? And Miss D and I were kind of talking, and she's like, you're so wrong. And I'm like, you're wrong. And then we keep on, you're wrong. And we keep on going. And then I'm like, wait.
Do you ever have like a machlokes on the program, or like?
Yeah.
Always. We have focus. IJ and I fight about everything.
Yeah.
That's what works.
That's a relationship.
That's
a good relationship. Yes.
That's what makes a good show. I mean, our best shows were the ones that were the most outrageous in terms of ratings.
Ooh.
That's all I'll say.
So I want to get it more outrageous. Let's get outrageous.
But everything we talk about, like we mean, like no one's actually trying to be, PC in a way.
No.
Like everyone's beliefs are these beliefs. Sometimes we might push it a little bit just because it might cater to that audience out there that really do believe in this one way or the other, like the Google search.
I want to hear more about the vibe. How do you get into the vibe regarding talk about Shidduchim? Like, do you have to read some emails? Do you have to
exactly
get into that? You have to get into that area.
Great question. Usually it's like after a date, we just like start angry texting each other. This happened on this date. I need a podcast right now. I just saw one of my exes in like a hotel in Florida, and then I need to get a podcast out. Got to vent it out. Those usually make for great episodes.
I'm curious if you guys are like dispatch that says, we have like a 613 guy did not show up on dates, need assistance.
Well, people call us for advice. People do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. We have one listener, actually. I'm going to mention him out there. One audience listener who said that. I'm not going to say his name. Jacob. We'll call him that. He actually said that he met a girl, and she is actually a listener to the podcast, and they were listening together. They were dating. They were in the car, date number 5 or something, 6, 7. They were listening to all the episodes. They were laughing together. They're having a good time, and they're getting engaged soon.
Ooh.
So I take credit. I want full shadchanim, and I want payment now.
Right now.
That's very cool. I didn't know that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
We have a lot of fun, cool stuff on shidduchpodcast.com. Take a look at it. Here's an old one. I don't think everyone remembers this one, but this is from Lev Aryeh. Okay, I think it's one of these post-high school programs. It's things not to say on a shidduch date. This video had like over 500,000. It's from like 7 years ago. Check it out. Very funny. Also, something from Shmooze Live. It was also a few years ago, about 3 years ago. Evolution of Jewish dating. It takes you through like all those years. So you'll see like shidduch dating with the Alta Zaidi, and then the Zaidi, and then the Bubba, and then your parents, and then you, and then it's pretty cool. So check that up. It's shidduchpodcast.com under articles. Shidduchpodcast.com under articles. And we'll be right back right after this.
Hey guys, this is Yona from the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. I want to take a moment to tell you about I Like Ike Marketing. I Like Ike Marketing serves all marketing and communication needs, including web design, branding, graphics, Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns, logos, social media, and more. To get the full deets and explore their services, go to likeike.net or call 516-399-1000.
Hey listeners, it's IJ from the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about Greenpoint Podcast Studio. It's where we record. We record there every single episode. It is a beautiful, newly renovated, brand new, right in the heart of Greenpoint in Brooklyn. And it's basically a little bit close to Williamsburg, just a few minutes from Flatbush, Borough Park. If you're in Queens, it's close to there. And hey, if you're in the Five Towns or New York City, it's just a quick 25 to 35-minute drive away. So you can follow them or get in touch with them by going to greenpointpodcaststudio.com to book your next podcast session.
Guys, we're back on with No One Talks Shidduchim. We wanted to talk about this subject regarding adding music with relationships. I love this topic, to be honest. It's really, really cool because, it's a radio show.
Misty's very into music. Misty, you want to handle this one?
Yalla.
Are you allowed to listen to goyish music or whatever kind of music on the date?
Oh, on the date. I think it's cool. I think it's nice when a guy plays music in the background. I think it relaxes everybody, and it definitely fills in those awkward silences. Because we all have those where you're just like, kill me now, like, please say something. So definitely I am very, into, like, playing music. I love it. And I think...
I'm just saying, if someone put out Tekashi while we're sitting in a car, I'm just getting out of the car. I don't care if it's my car.
No, I'm for it. And I think even, like, non-Jewish music. I mean, I listen to non-Jewish music, so I don't mind it. But I know everybody has their own take on that. So that's no.
I've heard those awkward, like, drives and everything else.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what to say. He's not saying anything. God help me. So definitely background music.
Can you touch his tuner on his car? Can you start messing around?
I don't know if I would do that on the first date, but maybe later on, yes.
I would give a girl credit if she did. She's like, okay, you've got guts. You've got guts. You started putting your Spotify, you connected to my Bluetooth.
I think it depends who it is.
That's a move.
If you like connect your aux cord to the car, like you're out. I'm just like, yeah.
That is a move.
I don't care if it's Spotify. Bold. I don't care if it's like you're out. You're done.
Oh. Jewish, non-Jewish, that's a winner.
So are we leading like if somebody asks you like what kind of music should I put out of the car, like has it ever been requested of?
It's been requested. I've requested it because I have no idea what to say if it's such a bad awkward date.
What about Shiurim? Like,
I'll put on the podcast on the way home. That would be something.
Really? And they would figure out it's you.
See what they have to say.
No, I want to see if they can match up the voice. I'm just testing their intelligence sometimes.
They should be like,
is that me or somebody else?
Right.
Exactly.
And again, they could listeners can check us out. It's shidduchpodcast.com, at Nobody Talks Shidduchim on Instagram. And everything in there.
An issue would be if they like Avery better than the guy they're dating.
That's a big problem. We get that all the time. I think Miss D comes in and like, oh man, that one
is like that man's voice on the radio was like amazing.
Funny thing is, we've gotten like Shidduch requests from the podcast, like, oh my god, I want to go out with Miss D. I want to go out with IJ. Avery not so much, but
Avery not so much actually. We've heard he's a bit abrasive.
Ooh,
a bit.
Not a joke.
Do you guys pick on him?
No, well, we have fun. We have fun together, but no, people actually do say that about Avery, and we just tell them like Avery's representing 40% of guys out there who think like this, who don't want to spend money, who maybe believe more in gender roles.
Just like so I can characterize everyone sitting here. IJ looks like a Lakewood dad, to be honest.
Right.
I was like, you look more flappishy, Mill Basin, whatever.
Definitely from Mill Basin.
Miss D looks like I don't want to be like rude. I can be rude with that, but the thing is like I would say more Flatbush to I would say between Midwood and Flatbush.
Yeah,
like that borderline.
Okay.
Well,
that's fair.
I'll take it.
People grow up a certain way, and they have in mind who they are more comfortable with, and people kind of project that on a date. Like, oh, this is who I expect to be with. Someone from Lakewood, someone from Flatbush, someone from the Five Towns, someone from out of town.
Then again, other people, like I did at one point, are going to start saying, oh, I want to cut off Flatbush, or I want to cut off the Five Towns. I want to cut off this location because I had a terrible experience. Or I just grew up with this stigma that these people... I went to camp once, and one kid from the Five Towns.
Like, do they cut off that certain
huge? There are always red lines.
I've cut off everything that's over a bridge. Everything.
You mentioned
even the Marine Park Bridge.
Yes, you mentioned that before.
It's just too far.
It's so far.
Because you don't want the girl to pay
unless she pays the toll. Yeah.
Well, and we gave some takeaways in discussing the restaurant dates, because there are some Jewish communities, let's say in Edison and Elizabeth and more New Jersey, Staten Island area, there are literally like there are no-go zones because there's one place to go to.
Oh, I know.
And it's tough. Like even going to Lakewood many times, I've gone on dates with Lakewood. I send people to Lakewood. Like there are 2 Starbucks in Lakewood that everyone goes to, and people are obviously sensitive to it. So it does have a big factor. Like people do have misconceptions coming in. And thinking, oh well, you know what? They're in that place. I don't think it's shy. I don't even want to like schlep out there.
You're like, I'm not going out there. I have like this amount of gas in my car. I'm not going anywhere else.
Yeah, wait, it costs a lot of money
Radio,
to go.
Ariel's show isn't on. I can't drive in the car while it's not on. Some people probably
now I know what to do on Thursdays, right? 90.3 FM.
Exactly.
Thursday
you got to tune in now.
So one popular episode we did that a lot more of the older singles reached out to us. Was singles events, and that was one of our episodes we did. Because people were like, finally someone's talking about singles events, and I had some cute stories there. Like I literally got to a singles event, I had no idea like where it was, who was throwing it. It was just like sent to me from like a shady text, like just come to this and this place at this and this time, and look single as possible. Okay, great. And I show up.
You got that one already.
I go into the singles event, and like no one's there, so I'm like, oh man, I'm early. Then people start coming in, and it's okay. And then I like look to the door, and there, like the girl that I just said no to after 3 dates is right there in the doorway, and I'm like, this is over.
This is when IJ knew he had messed up.
I messed. Well, thank God she ran away because that was
at the same time. Miss D told us she was never at a singles event.
Oh so, yeah, I think also going into single events, you need to take like your crew with you, like take. Like your friends with you, because I think it makes it that more fun and more.
Bring your chavrusa. Bring your homies.
You need it. You need your girls, your homies.
You gotta bring the chevra.
Yeah, exactly. Huh? And like it just makes it more because you go in, it's awkward. It's like I don't want to be here. Nobody wants to be there, But when you have your friends, your crew, it definitely makes it that much more bearable. I think.
And we gave a good takeaway from that episode. Avery, remember what we gave a big takeaway there?
I don't. I blocked that one out of my memory.
Go in with an inside man to a singles event. Inside man, meaning inside, and someone of the opposite gender. So
I thought you meant like Ocean's 13 kind of thing.
I know, right? Like that movie Inside Man was fantastic. But go in, like if you're a guy, find some girl to go with, and like say you could make an arrangement and say, look, if there are any guys you like, I'll go over to them, and you like any girls, and you could go like, oh hey, you saw Avery over there, like, oh man, he's a stud. Oh yeah, maybe he is.
Is there a vetting process, like who your crew is?
Yo, you want to bring somebody that looks worse than you. That's the rule. Because if they're with you, then you look pretty good. If you're with that person who's not that attractive or has like a weird personality,
for all the millennials out there, you're Rick and Morty in the sense, like if any Yeah, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have not.
No, I know.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm questioning. Do you ever send people to Amuka? The Eretz Yisrael? Because yes. See, I was gonna.
That's a very good.
So I know for a fact it's proven. What? People tend to get like engaged
after they go.
Exactly. It's proven.
I mean, I went and I'm still not engaged.
Let's send IJ. Let's fundraise for tickets. Send you. Audience, we're gonna fundraise. I want IJ off the show. We're gonna get him.
Thank you.
We're deporting IJ to Israel.
I've never gone to that. I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews on Amuka. No, I was actually going to ask Miss D about her worst shotgun experience because we were actually discussing shotgun before.
Okay.
So I just wanted to get back because Miss D had a little shotgun experience that I think people can understand.
Oh, yeah. I had one time that the shotgun was setting me up and she sent me someone in Israel, actually. And I was like, how's that going to work? Because I'm not going to Israel. I'm here at the moment. And she was like, very just like in my face, just like, I was like, I just don't know how it's going to work, whatever. And she's like, well, you want to get married, don't you? So she was very like telling me all these comments. And it really threw me off. I think when shadchanim, they are great. I don't want to bash any of them. But I think when they say all these things, it can really turn you off, and it does hurt, especially like girls, we're more, I think, sensitive and all that, all emotions, whatever. So I think they should be careful with what they say. But that was like one of my experience that like sticks out in my mind when I think of like shadchanim. I'm like, oh gosh, it like turns me off.
Because she just didn't understand you.
She didn't.
She didn't get it.
Very like rude about it. So
because I know there's a difference between like if you have shadchan that's Hasidic versus modern versus Israeli.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we have a beautiful boy for you. He just got out of yeshiva. And that's what happens.
We've gotten those spam shadchanim. Like you ever get hit up on like one of those crazy websites and you get this email from the shadchan that's sending you a girl who's looking for somebody who's in Kirov, and I'm not in Kirov, I'm not in yeshiva anymore, and they're like, oh yeah, oh Kirov, Kirov type, where they set you up with something that's the total like she's
Random,
she's not even, she's wearing pants. Like there are shadchanim, like I've said before, that just don't care.
They don't even bother to read the criteria in your descriptions, because sometimes you send a description to the shadchan and say, here's just the very minimum. I need someone between 24 and 27. They have to be within this height, and like they just send you everything the opposite, not within those parameters. Right. I think a shadchan who I handled with once gave me the best analogy for this. Just pretend like you're going on Amazon and you're trying to filter out what you're looking for, and then you have that page of what you're looking for, and then you buy it and you try it on, right? That's kind of like shidduch dating. That's what you're doing, an analogy.
Yeah, but in order to find that shadchan, you had to find somebody who is like in your same path. Like the best shadchan experience, I think IJ mentioned this, was when he had a shadchan who had kids who had boys his age. So it was kind of like a similar feel.
Right.
Like she understood.
Those are the best shadchanim that we like working with. That many singles. Someone who has a child or a sibling in shadchanim right now, who in shidduchim right now, who they can relate to.
Yeah, to the audience also, DM us if you want. DM us on Instagram. Email us if you want like a good list of shadchanim that we can refer, because we'll definitely send it out there. There's a lot of good shadchanim out there, and we want to put the spotlight on them.
So I'm curious what the next topic is. Oh.
Yeah. So one of my favorite episodes was can you date multiple people at a time? And it's such a benefit when they have the same name. So that's like the best part of it. That's the cherry on the whipped cream. But dating more than one person at a time, it happens. And we were discussing it. And I think this was the one where Avery and Miss D teamed up against me.
Yeah, because you were wrong.
Well, it was also called taking the correct opinion. It's teaming up.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to call it, you want to call that teaming up, that's fine with you. You cannot date more than two people at once if you're a guy. Guys, it's disrespectful to the women. It really is.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's very disrespectful.
Thank you. Wow.
Guys have so many resumes at hand.
Wait, who disagreed with us?
IJ.
You see how they treat me?
How dare you?
IJ and his Lakewood dad vibe disagreed with us.
Lakewood dad vibes.
I love that.
I'm from Canarsie. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to use that from now on. It's great.
Well, the big factor in dating multiple people, and we put a disclosure out in the beginning. We told people, if you're thinking about getting engaged, or if you're with the one you want to be with, okay, that's the stupidest thing anyone could tell you. Start dating other people. Although maybe some shadchanim we worked with might tell you that. But
what is the terminology? Is it called a side
two-timing?
Two-timing.
Yeah, actually, that's what it was. Yeah, we called it two-timing.
Because I was going to say, it's like, you're dating two people that have side chicks, so, it's like, yeah.
Right. Well, they had that like in The Sopranos, like the Gomage, right? But it's called two-timing. And I was bringing up an obstacle that many girls get to, where think about it, they're 25, they're 26, and the resumes are not coming in as much. And they get two yeses at once from like two great guys. So maybe they get one yes right now, and then a shadchan calls and says, "Hey, Sprinza, that guy you said yes to like 6 months ago, and we kept on chasing him, and he was busy, and he just became available. Now what does she do? Like, it's a very tough position to be in. Do I go out? Do I let this one go? Right. So
it's like the Matrix. Blue pill or red pill.
My perspective on that was, you can go out, you can try it in the beginning, but obviously if you see something in someone, continue it and go with one person. You don't like after 5-10 dates, something like that, you obviously have to make up your mind.
Of course, yeah. So currently we have around 10 to around like 12 more minutes part of this interview. Let's get into the cholent. Let's get into that. Let's talk about it.
Well, remember, millennials don't like the phrase cholent or meat and potatoes. They like salad toppings on the salad.
So let's get into the prenup decision. Let's get into the prenup, okay? Let's talk about that. No, I'm kidding. So tell me, what other interesting topics do we have to discuss? Okay, fine. Let's do something interesting.
Maybe we should set you up.
Oh,
yeah.
This is a great guy.
Okay. You got 3 minutes. Let's go.
All right, let's go through our contact
What am I looking
list.
for?
Yes.
Ooh.
Wait, I think I could predict. You're looking for someone who has a good sense of humor, but not too funny, all the time.
Well, you've sat with me for 48 minutes.
She should be.
I gotta hear this.
She should be. She should be with it, but not too with it. She should be financially independent, but not too financially independent. She should be worldly, but not too worldly.
How dare you?
We've read all the descriptions.
All of them. All.
Avery, what's your viewpoint on me?
I really think you're a catch. I think you're a
oh,
catch.
thank you.
Not for me, but for a lot of our listeners. I think somebody who's got such a great program over here. You're literally a catch.
Yeah, only girls want me for my program.
A great program. The best thing to do to get girls to want you, though.
Oh, let's hear this. What?
Misty thinks I'm going to say something derogatory. Is be a nice guy.
Yes. Wow. I'm surprised.
That's a
My mom made me say that.
The JSwap account and all those accounts, I'm kidding. From Borough Park. We don't do that kind of stuff. We only vape. We only vape. It's okay.
You know what? Girls don't like vaping. We put out a poll on the Instagram, and like
Of course they don't like
75%.
vaping.
Majority.
Of course people don't like vaping. It doesn't make any sense.
What's wrong with vaping?
Because the guy's going to disappear in a cloud of smoke. That's what the situation is.
Honest to
I
God,
know.
walking in on my way here, I got hit by like one of those strawberry clouds,
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
Oh my! Yeah, no, we're
was really
going to
nice.
put out an episode about like topics like that. You know, vices as they're called. That's the term.
Alcohol,
People like vices,
booze.
because there are like, hey, even women have vices. A lot of women I've dated and out there like a nice tall glass of wine at night. And you know,
Are we talking
there
Herzog,
are
Kedem?
some shadchanim out there who would be like, "What? You're an alcoholic? That's terrible." We're like, she's just drinking some wine. And guys like other things as well, right? I mean, obviously we go to Kiddush Club.
Are you
there's
pro
L'chaim,
casual
things
drinking,
like this.
or are you pro casual drinking, or?
Oh, so we discussed it on a recent episode
Yeah,
about
Misty.
drinking alcohol on a date. We did.
Right. I think so. I think casual drinking is okay, but obviously if you take it to like a certain extent,
Too much, exactly.
yes, then that's a problem. But I'm for it. I think so. Yeah.
for men or women.
For both. Right. He's driving. He's buying. So actually, right. I don't want to end up like my friend that almost like died in the car with that drunk guy. So maybe not the guy then. You're right. Yeah. Maybe just the girl.
No drinking.
Well,
No
when would
drinking.
it be? When would it be appropriate to obviously you want to order a drink? If you're a drinker, a few dates in, just say, hey, I want to get a drink, but obviously have to be conscientious about that.
Ariel, do people drink before they come on the show? Like, do they get that nervous?
We've had some
booze?
people. We've had some people, and Joey Newcomb knows who he is. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love Joey.
You know, his father was my 7th grade Rebbe.
No way.
Was he really?
Yeah, legit.
Now we know.
Now you
we
know. Now you know. And I still don't have a shit up. Can you believe that? But it's the
This guy.
same concept. Like, you want to you loosen the nerves, have a drink, you come on the show, you want to have a good conversation, you want to be yourself.
No,
you
it's
wanna
interesting
present-
because we were saying it from like Al Nisim, and somehow Hava Nagila came up. So that was
Okay.
that was an interesting situation. No, I'm kidding.
We would tell people in Shidduchim that if you do have vices that you feel are a little iffy, right? Again, if it's alcohol, if it's drinking, if whatever it may be, something that's just a little bit out of the box, even if you like modern art. No, it's not nothing like that, but it has to be brought up. It has to be brought up, and so and
Don't
obviously
conceal it. Don't conceal it.
Don't conceal it. And I think the machlokas really isn't today about concealing things. It's just when should you bring it up? Should you bring it out before you send the resume or after the first date? When do you bring that up?
I had a friend who went on a date with a girl. He went back. He was on his way back from Muncie, and he was coming back to pick her up in the 5 towns. Reeked of cigar smoke in his car.
Oof.
Reeked. It reeked.
Oof.
And what did he do? He
I
was,
love
he
cigars.
was sitting in traffic. He pulled out a cigar. He's like, okay, I'm just going to spray down my car. 3rd date, he liked her, everything. I'm going to spray down my car with all this deodorant and perfume and
You
cologne.
feel like you're going to get that smell,
Yeah. All these different chemicals.
And what happened?
Wow.
What happened?
They got.
She gets into the car, takes a whiff. After he leaves all the windows open, everything. Gets in the car. You smoke? First thing she says.
Oh,
you
my
smoke.
God.
Not even hi. How's it going? You smoke.
Oh.
Ended it. Ended it right
Done.
there.
It was like
So-
the door slammed right on his face, and she was like, sayonara.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I want to hear more of the funny stories. Tell me some more funny stories, like weird to funny.
Weird to funny.
Anything?
We have some weird
Anything.
ones.
Should I tell the wedding story?
No, how about the
Waffle?
Stender one? That was so funny.
Huh?
Stender.
Waffle.
What about the
We
Stender
don't
one?
discuss the waffle part of that.
You got to
story.
do the Stender one.
The resume?
Oh,
All right,
that was hilarious.
I'll tell this agenda. If Miss D has one, then we'll let her go first, though.
No, I'm still thinking.
I got back to my shul, and I see this very elderly gentleman, and he's pointing at me. He's like, Avery, come over here. I'm like, first of all, you know my name. He's like the elderly statesman in the shul. He's like, I think I have this girl for you. I have an idea. I'm like, okay, fine. Send it to me. Give me your idea. It's like, write down your email on this piece of napkin or tissue, Kleenex. Put it down. He's like, okay, I'm going to email it to you or something. I'm like, okay, I figure he'll take my email. He'll text me, call me, whatever. I get an email from a text, not an email from an actual email address. I get an email from a text. So whatever
I know
number was
that.
718 ... email my email. I'm like, who is texting my email? It was this elderly guy saying, by the way, here's the resume. I put the resume in your father's stender. You can go look at it during davening. It's in there, and I'm like,
That's how they used to do it back then, I guess.
I got the secret message for you.
It's in there. I tried faxing it. I couldn't fax it.
So what happened?
It was the most absurd resume I've ever seen in my life.
Not Lee
I
Shaykh
swear,
match.
it was
Like
Lee Shaykh.
herring. So I was like, hey.
She wore pants. On her resume, she spelled college COLLAGE. So I'm like, I don't come from like the highest education background, but come on, like, you know, everyone knows you put out a resume.
You think she's like trying to spell collage?
I think she was like, you know, like one of those,
Maybe.
you know, millennial types, like, oh, it's collage, you know, like, it's,
Reaching the end of our interview, guys. Do you want to talk anything else regarding to our listeners? Any other topics?
I just wanted to let everyone know that you can follow us on Instagram at Nobody Talks Shidduchim, or you can go on. You can find us at shidduchpodcast.com, and we're available on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. And email us. We always make effort to respond to everyone listening. And a little bit like Leah said before, we really believe it's our supporters. We call it the sibling, the single siblinghood. That's what it is. Single siblinghood. Sibling, exactly.
Yes. So, guys, you can also listen to this episode. We had Leah Forrester. No one talks Shidduchim. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Listen to our shows Thursday, 6 to 8 o'clock. Have a beautiful Shabbos, everybody.
Ouchie's Media Network.